It's the 5th of September 2017, and you are listening to the Paul Clark Podcast. I appreciate the fact that I'm doing this podcast will mean that I'm very much going against the point that I'm trying to make. The point being that why do we talk about right-wing or left-wing radical extremists? Why give publicity to vile organisations like the KKK, neo-Nazism? Today, the police successfully probed and arrested neo-Nazism, members of neo-Nazism, people who believe in white supremacism operating in the United Kingdom in the 21st century. It's disgusting that this exists. But do I even need to say that? Do I even need to say the words that this is a vile, disgusting, horrible organisation, a horrible group of people? Because don't we all know that? Haven't we all been brought up to know that? It's like with Trump. Back last month, a couple of weeks ago, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, he got condemned because he condemned both sides in the horrific violence that took place in Charlottesville, in West Virginia. He condemned both sides. Now, I watched that, and I thought, yeah, that's the exact response I would have given. I would have condemned both sides. Because both sides, as far as I'm concerned, are neo-Nazism, are people who like to lord it over others and repress everyone else. Doesn't matter if you're a neo-Nazi on the right and you're a member of something like the KKK, or you're a neo-Nazi on the left. I mean, to me, and I'm sure I'll get condemned for saying this and be insulted, and that's just by my own family, but Corbyn, Jeremy Corbyn in this country, that's neo-Nazism. It's just a left-wing version of it, but it stems from the same place of suppressing people that do not agree with your opinions, not agreeing with people who express an alternative view about the way the world should be, and basically trying to shut them up, trying to suppress them from expressing those opinions. Corbyn wants a communist Britain. Members of the KKK, David Duke, they want an America or a Britain or a planet Earth without black people. Corbyn and his posse want a Britain and a world without success, without capitalism. They're both trying to suppress the other side. So call it what you like. Slap names on it. Neo-Nazism, radical left-wing lunatics. They should both be condemned for what they are. And the fact that I even have to sit here and talk about how these guys are scum, these neo-Nazis and members of the KKK, is mind-blowing to me. Because don't we all know that? Haven't we seen enough documentaries about these guys to know what they're like? And that's sort of the point. Should the media even be showing us these kind of people? Because just look at it via the numbers. The population of any given society, like the United States, versus members of the KKK. Honestly, how tiny is it? Or how big is it in comparison to the rest of the UK or the rest of Britain? it's not even worth discussing, I don't think. And look, if they've got their backward-thinking, stupid views, let them have them. I don't care for them. I don't agree with it, but let them have it. That's my take on it anyway. So, I mean, the police arresting these neo-Nazis, go ahead. Arrest them, sure. But you're just giving publicity to them. They're just expressing backward-thinking, stupid opinions. Now, if they do something about it, if, say, they get a black person and string him up from a tree, then, that's called first-degree murder, and there were already laws in place to deal with that. So, but to actually arrest someone for expressing a stupid, backward-thinking opinion, just, no. Because you then give publicity to it. Just go, oh look, there's the idiot again, talking about black people and how they have no place in society. You sort of, roll your eyes and just walk past them. And that's what I could never understand. In Charlottesville, in America, you had these neo-Nazi scumbags who were protesting about this statue that the radical left wanted to bring down, because to them it resembled slavery. It reminded the left of the people who were suppressed during the black slavery years of the United States. So you have these neo-Nazi scumbags protesting about that. So they're armed to the teeth. They've got, whatever they've got on them, blimmin' machetes and knives and guns and baseball bats. And then you got the radical left, who also come heavily armed, looking for a fight, and they both meet on the streets of Charlottesville, and they go at it. And it's like, well, why couldn't you just ignore each other? Because I don't know about you guys, but if I see people en masse who have got knives and guns and stuff, I'll probably walk across the other side of the street. Or maybe I won't even go out that day if I know it's going on. Maybe I'll stay at home and play some PlayStation or watch some Netflix. I don't know. I'm sure I've got other things better to do with my time than go out there and confront a load of neo-Nazi scumbags or lunatic liberal lefties. No? Am I wrong to say that? I mean, should I be... Does this make me a white supremacist because I, like the president, I condemn both sides? Is it a bad thing for me to say that these people shouldn't be arrested? They should just be ignored. And then if they commit a crime, as I say, like stringing up a black person to a tree, like they used to do in the old days of the KKK, then, yeah, that's called assault. It's racism. And you should be arrested, tried, found guilty, and have the key thrown away. But to arrest someone for having a stupid opinion, and no matter what that opinion may be, and then to give them publicity like the media have been doing all day, it's just spreading their message. And I'm spreading their message right now, and I kind of hate the fact that I'm doing this podcast, because I'm making you aware of these people. Be honest with yourself. Did you even know who the likes of David Duke of the KKK was before the likes of CNN started talking about him and his links to President Trump? I mean, really, be honest. Did you even know who he was? Did you even know who Shirley Phelps was? Member of the Westboro Baptist Church, before Louis Theroux started doing his documentaries for the BBC, and then Keith Allen goes out there and does a documentary about her, and then Jeremy Kyle has them on his show and starts spreading their neo-Nazism propaganda. Did you know about David Duke before CNN started talking about how he and President Trump, he supports the president and Trump should condemn him? Trump can't help who supports him. He can't help the fact that there's a guy in Redditch last year who was egging him on to wipe the floor with Hillary Clinton. And I've had my own issues with Trump, in the last couple of months about certain things. I'm not a fan of the constant tweets. I don't agree with his squaring up to Kim Jong-un and sending more troops into Afghanistan. I think is a mistake. But I do back him on the condemnation of both sides. Of from what I can see, are as bad as each other. Neo-Nazism, radical left-wing lunatics. Label them as what you like. They're all scumbags, as far as I'm concerned, who can't express their opinions without resorting to bigotry and hatred. And unfortunately, someone dies, as they did in Charlottesville. And I don't know. I think the person who died was on the left. Was someone who was protesting against the neo-Nazis. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Someone still died. And I would say the same if it was someone on the right. Say a member of the KKK had died. It's like, well, that's still a person. And individually, one-on-one, they might have actually been... Well, I mean, look, they were still someone's brother, someone's son, someone's father. Like she was someone's daughter or sister, maybe even mother. And I often find with people, when you get them out of the pack and you get them on one-on-one, they're actually not that bad. I mean, really, do you honestly... Let me ask you this. Could you strike up a friendship with someone who was a neo-Nazi? As long as they were decent to you. And say you went away on holiday for a couple of weeks and you asked them, could you just look after the house or look after my cat? And you come back and they've done what you asked. They've even done your washing for you and they vacuumed and they tidied the house and it's spanking new. And then you find out afterwards, oh yeah, they're a neo-Nazi. Oh, terrible person. Not terrible to you. They were alright to you personally, just as I'm sure most of these left-wing lunatics, when you get them one-on-one, and I've had some nice conversations with people that you probably might consider to be left-wing lunatics, but they're only left-wing lunatics or neo-Nazi scumbags when they're part of a pack. Separate them from the pack, probably wouldn't say boo to a goose. Most of them. But we've got to stop giving this pack, these group of animals on the left and the right, publicity. That's my argument. The main headline today on the news was neo-Nazi probe uncovers that some war veterans are members of a white supremacist group operating in the UK. Alright. Okay, well then, but why is that worthy of being main news? Could you just not mention it in passing? Why do you have to devote a whole 2 or 3 minute segment on it? I don't understand. Or debate it for half an hour on News 24. It's you're just spreading their bigotry and their hatred, and I think that's wrong. And I think it's wrong that I'm even doing this podcast. And I think it's crazy that I even have to sit here and say what is the obvious. That neo-Nazi people are scum. And radical people on the left are scum. To me, if you resort to violence, if you resort to picking up a baseball bat and having a good old ruckus in the street and running people over or throwing eggs at politicians or bricks through people's windows, that says a lot about you. Really, you are worthy of condemnation, regardless of what side of the political fence you are on. Well, I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Like the video, dislike the video. You could do that, I suppose. Can you actually dislike videos on Facebook yet? I'm not sure. I heard they were bringing that in. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening. Comment below, share the video, and yeah, I'll speak to you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.